हजुरले छमला big hello for my beloved student. I hope you all are fine and taking very good care of your precious health. So what we are going to study today is from 7th class English, and one of the poem which is known as Sympathy I'm going to explain you today. Okay. So first of all, I would like to clear you that this poem is in your Unit 3 syllabus. Okay. The sympathy, the meaning of sympathy. What do you mean by the sympathy? Sympathy means to feel pity on something, someone who is very poor, looks very pity. On that person, we are feeling from our heart, some feeling we have with our emotion. That is the sympathy, right? So, who wrote this poem? One of the poet who is known as Charles Mackay. He wrote this poem. Okay, so Charles Mackay, he was known as the inner man, and he was a very famous poet. He was a journalist. He was a good author. He was an anthologist. He was novelist, and he was a songwriter. So that means he was the complete man, you can say, right? So when he was very young, his mother was died. And he died on 24th December 1889 in London. So this was all about the Charles Mackay. Okay, now these are the vocabulary which I have taken word from the poem itself. Okay, so first word is sorrow. What do you mean by the sorrow? Sorrow means sad, tense, you can say worry, right? So grief, very sad. Grief word, sorrow, grief, and okay, sorrow and grief, these are the similar word, you can say it, right? Heard, H-E-A-R-D. Heard means to hear, to listen. And gold, gold means the precious, what we say in our ornament, sona, we can say, right, for gold. And charity, charity is to give food for the poor people, to give clothes to the needy people. That is the charity. Okay. And pain, if we cut our hand and there is a wound in your hand and it starts paining after some time, that is that pain, P-A-I-N, pain. Okay. And sympathy, I told you sympathy, the meaning of sympathy is to feel pity on someone, right? And heavenly, I will explain you in this poem. Actually, heavenly means the place of goddess, goddess. Now I will explain you goddess, heavenly in the poem, right? Now the time for the model reading. While teachers model reading, I'm repeating this again and again so that you can listen teachers model reading, how the teachers are pronouncing a word so that when you are reading it, you can read correctly, right? I lay in sorrow, deep distressed, my grief a proud man heard. His looks were cold, he gave me gold, but not a kindly word. The gold he gave to me, then stood erect and spoke my thanks, and blessed his charity. I lay in want and grief and pain, a poor man passed my way. He bound my head, he gave me bread, he watched me night and day. How shall I pay him back again for all he did to me? Oh, gold is great, but greatly far is heavenly sympathy. So this was the model reading. Okay, now I will explain you a line wise. Okay, so the first line is I lay in sorrow. I means the poet himself. I lay in sorrow. Lay means pada hua tha. Lay in sorrow. Sorrow means very sad. Okay, once upon a time, this poem is actually incident that happened in poet's life. Okay, that is Charles Mackay wants to convince us what happened in his life once. Okay, I lay in sorrow, deep distress. The meaning of sorrow is sad, worry, tension. I was in very worry. Who is worry? The poet Charles Mackay was very sad once. Deep distress. Deep means very much. Deep distress means the same sorrow, right? Grief. My grief a proud man heard. My grief means that sadness. A proud man. Proud means here in this poem, proud we can say rich. A rich man. A rich man heard. Actually, the proud means if you got 100% score and you are feeling very much proud of yourself, right? So that is the proud. But in this poem, the proud means it is connected with a rich. Okay. Once the poet was in very sad, very much tense. He was very sad, and who was listen to that sad? A proud man, a rich man heard that. Okay. His looks were cold. Whose looks were cold? The rich man. His means rich man looks were cold. Cold means, like he was not at all worried about what life is. It's, what it is going to be. So he was not at all worrying. The poet, that rich man looks were cold. He gave me gold. Actually, the gold means the precious, for which we are making our ornaments, right? But here in this poem, the gold means money. It is connected with the money, right? So his looks were cold. Whose looks were cold? The rich man looks were cold. And he gave him gold. Gold means money. He gave some money to the poet who was very sorrow, who was very sad, who was in grief. Okay, but not a kindly word. Of course, that rich man gave some money to the poet Charles Mackay, but he did not spoke any single kindly word. Kindly word means if somebody is in very tense, we are trying to persuade them by saying it's okay, don't worry. But he did not speak any single word. Who? The proud man, the rich man. Okay. The gold he gave to me, then stood erect and spoke my thanks and blessed his charity. But not a kindly word. Okay, the gold he gave to me, the money he gave to the poet. Who gave money to the poet? That rich man gave money to the poet. That money then stood erect and spoke my thanks. Then stood erect. Okay, the poet was once very sad, and after some time when he was okay, then stood means to stand up. Okay, stand. This is the past tense of stand. Stood. Erect means to straight. And spoke my thanks. Spoke my thanks means then after some time when I was okay, when the poet felt okay, then after some days he gave that money back to the rich man and bless his charity. Bless means to give a bless, like you are doing very good, thank you very much. To say like this, that is the bless in this poem. Okay, his charity means his help. The poet, when he really needed any help with the money, that time that rich man gave the money, and this is how he thanked for his charity, right? Okay, this is the first stanza. In first stanza, the poet met with a rich man. Now in second stanza, the poet is meeting with another man, that is the poor man, right? I lay in want. Want means in needed, okay? And grief means very sad, and pain means to have a pain, okay? A poor man passed my way. Once again, the poet was in tense, he was in pain, he was in want, he was in grief. That time, who is passing his way? A poor man. First time he met a man, that was the rich man. Now in second he is meeting with a poor man. Okay, he bound my head. bound in the sense he bandaged his head. When the poor man saw that the poet was very tense, very sad, what he did is he went to him and he started pressing, bounding, he's bandaging, his head. He gave him a bread. He gave me bread. Me means poet. Poet is talking. Poet is telling us. So me means poet. He gave me bread. Who gave him a bread? That poor man gave him a bread. Bread means chapati. You can say roti, right? He watched me night and day. Who is watching the poet? That poor man who bandaged his head, who gave him a bread. That person is looking after the poet whole day and night. When you tell me, when you are sick at your home, who is looking after you? Your mom, right? Or sometimes your father. Sometimes it can be they can be your elders. But here we are talking about the poor person. Poor man is looking after a stranger man who looks very sad, who was in grief, right? Okay, how shall I pay him back again for all he did to me? Now poet is confused that if to give money back, if when we are having shortage of money, we are getting money from our elders, from our friends, from our cousins. Okay, and after some time when we have enough money, then we are returning that money to them, right? But here the poet is confused that how shall he pay him back? What he have to pay? Sympathy, the feeling of pity. Okay, that is very difficult to pay the back. Now the poet is confused for all he did to me. Whatever that poor man did to the poet, now poet is confused that how shall he pay back? Oh, gold is great. Here, oh, of course, gold is great. Gold is very much great, very much powerful. Gold can be helpful, but greatly far is heavenly sympathy. But greatly far is heavenly sympathy. That means the most powerful is a sympathy that is more precious than the gold. So that is what it is, the poet tried to convince us. Yeah, then the tukun kwaya ngija hagoto is sympathy poemina. Ngija Ladakh na yang sapich translate chen taki ngija ma hagwen hala. I lay in sorrow, deep distress, my grief, a proud man herds. Na e poet po Charles Mackay kene poet pa kuna life ina kon thangis mi izugri na thukyak mi chik po chukpo jinge po thukyak mi chik po ngelba shan jinge po thukyak tane kazu gi ngelba shan help chos chukpo be penitence de konla zuko mother chos hala help chos te bes korla tene e Charles Mackay poem budiste no ठीक मेरा tene poet po eyes na poet po no kabi e poem budis e poet po khedna serchik ma serke nanga mane deep mane mangsteng serke nanga my grief a proud man heard na te nge serka bo khedna hala te skyo me izupo naslu po khedna tene izuk mi jiga chor ka mi bo khedna proud jiga pen e poem bina proud jena rich la jano chukpo jano chukpe mi jiga chor jano his looks were cold jena chukpo mi be thongzo bo khedna mane yanchmana mane changkang ezuk macha kanji mane chi chang cha jigan joshi gya mane spera chang matanga 6 chigang mazira khwa peni tangsanang yato joskya hagwale but not a kindly word na tana 6 chigang mazira tene peni watangsanang ko songkya jano the gold he gave to me na tene poet pe jano te pene khoninga tangkan bo khetenang then stood erect tene jama khachine japna ठीक छ जने then stood teninga apne आप खड़ा हो गया ज्या चोसला last teningi khwangi spoke my thanks na nge thukje chejus pen khwangi nga pene tangches pa and blessed his charities na teni khwenga te jane nga pene gosdo me time ka pene tangches pa khwangi thank you Josephine I lay in want ta yang searching yang ezug yang nga cherka jina dukse pen want mane zarurat de time jiga duks pen chi zarurat ta yang tenna cerka choksina kho duks tet kya and grief mane mayang cerka jano cerka chenmo gulla grief jano spena music tones na te time ga teni grief po word used to na taken up and pain mane ngata zumu yong chas hala te pain bono a poor man passed my ways na tene anga cerkina duks tet pen cerchik tene ngelba shene music nge dune song hala he bound my head tene khwengi go chamai zo nante go chamai kai ka bandage dang ste khwenga pat mi mane ra mi chosla khwenga yasha chos pat kadar choste he gave me bread jana tage jano pa tene ina kharji chosla jana ditno tene khwenga kharji sama sterte kharji choste he watched me night and days ngata ra mi gunyang kaspo chano zukshi asta che zumong kan mi ja mangposta che hala magar ipo ngelba shane mi bekete na tene nga changin met pa tene khwenga kadar choste khwenga pat yato chos jano then how shall I pay him back again for all he did to me jana then poet book I sompa bo bezano then kazugi nge ta khwange te I pat zamshi yasha chos khwenga chi kazugi yasha chos kya kharji stair te changin met pa khwa tene kadar choste sas kya pa te samma kitna tangi khwa kazugi loksta tan hala samkya hagwale then oh gold is great jana ha dimbarang eno is ser ipene bakete nang matak poino hala help ma faida yongano phantok yongano but greater far is heavenly sympathy jana greater far jana tene mangs tang tene takpo bakete nang tene ngata I ngingje boino jana tene I poem bekane you ha gogos ngata ki sympathy jana tene ngata I tazuk shikthop to ngata hala we are human being we can think we can do whatever we want whatever we would like to do we can do it but I zupo sympathy wakete nang music ngata tikpa jingata dunne chatna te mi bangata ngingbo kaste khoi yato chuna tene te wakete nang ngata yongo sano zateno tene I poet pe jals meke khete nang I sympathy bo ozukshiga disteno. So this was the sympathy poem. I hope you understand. I hope you know the summary of the poem. You can write the concept of the poem. With this I conclude, and if you have any questions, any comment regarding my topic, which is sympathy, you can please write to me. You can call me on my number, and my number is on the screen. Thank you.